plans for a new stadium. Following further discussions regarding the proposed new stadium, Carter claims that a new stadium trust has been set up without him behind his back, but went on to say the new trust is close to landing the stadium on the basis Wakefield commit to being anchor tenants. Carter claims Sir Rodney Walker, the head of the stadium trust, has stated the previous trust could not deliver the new stadium because he cannot work with Carter and Chris Brereton. As a result, Carter has proposed that he and Chris will stand down from the trust on the basis the new community stadium agreement can be reached within the next month and the stadium is open by 2019. I see a lot of brinkmanship from Michael Carter around the ground and Bellevue and stadiums. How much of this do you think is legit, and how much of this do you think is further posturing?
If he's trying to force people's hand even by playing silly political posturing games, then at least he's trying to do something, I suppose.
Positive for the club.
And you have to be, in his role, you have to be seen to be trying to do something, otherwise you'll get relentless criticism.
Exactly.
So I can't knock him too much, even though I agree with you that there's an element of brinkmanship and posturing around this all.
Yeah.
I nearly deleted this story when it got to today.
Yeah.
But I think it is pertinent that this thing rumbles on. It's been, there since SLP began, so it'll almost be a hole left when we no longer have this to talk about.
That's it. Okay, versatile Hull FC back Nick Rawsthorne has signed a 2-year contract, or a new 2-year contract with the Black and Whites. The 21-year-old joined from Halifax in June 2016, but spent much of his time out on loan, having made just 3 appearances for Hull FC. So they obviously rate him. They obviously think he's one for the future with the amount of time he spent out on loan, which I thought was how they would nurture him anyway. So congratulations to Nick Rawsthorne.
He's impressed.
Yeah.
He's made the odd mistake, but he's impressed every time he's played for Hull FC. He's scored tries every time he's played for Hull FC, pretty much.
Well, this time last year he was playing amateur. He was playing semi-pro rugby league at Halifax. So it's a big step up and a big learning curve for a young man.
Yeah.
And I, for one, applaud him. Castleford Tigers have taken former London youngster Callum Bustin on trial. Not for a week, then. Bustin for a week. Taking him. I don't mind. I have to impress you.
Is there something that's gone over my head?
If you just bust in for a week.
Oh, busted for a week.
There you go, right. Never mind. The 20-year-old was released by the Broncos earlier this week and has linked up with the Super League leaders in an attempt to land a contract. Bustin is predominantly a centre and has made 2 appearances for the Broncos, while he has played 12 times for the League One neighbours, the London Scholars, this year. Well, good luck to him then.
Yeah, certainly.
I would say, fair play, we'll see how he goes. Bradford Bulls have signed Ash Gibson from Wakefield on a deal until the end of 2018. The outside back has spent his entire career in the Super League, following spells with Leeds, Salford, Castleford and Wakefield. There you go.
Not played a lot this season, so I imagine game time is a big decision for him, a big reason for him for this move. Yeah,
and it's only until the end of 2018, so he'll be back in the Championship or Super League fairly quickly, I should have thought.
Would it be void if and when you go down, if the league isn't restructured and etc.?
Do you know what? I'll be fucking fuming if we start because of a fucking league restructure. Anyway, staying with Bradford Bulls, the Bulls have completed the signing of Damien Sirenin from Tweed Head Seagulls, the prop forward.
I think you pronounce it Sirenin.
I've always said Siren. It is Paul. Yeah, it's Sirenin.
Yeah, I go Sirenin.
I've always said Sirenin.
Well, anyway, tell us the story. Sorry for...
Well, I'm sure the Aussies will correct us. I'm probably wrong. I usually am. I always thought Sirenin. Okay, well, whoever he is, I'll start again. Bradford Bulls have completed the signing of Damien McKeown from the Tweed Head Seagulls. The prop forward joins the club with immediate effect. Sirenin, 24, is the nephew of the legendary Paul Sirenin and cousin of current Manly star Curtis Sironen. We've cracked it there, haven't we?
We've done a good job.
We're at least 1 out of 3.
Neil McEwen got in touch. He said, "Now then, lads, Bradford's signing players this week, guessing they've had the heads up on the new league structure."
There you go. Who knows? Not I. Championship, so they're not going to get in the team anyway. We're with the Salford Red Bulls or the Bradford Red Bulls, and we all take our tinfoil hats off because I was right all along. So just been a cunning plan to get Craig Comstock back to Valley Parade. Yeah, shut up, Tom. Okay, Championship side Oldham have signed Salford talents Matthew Wilkinson.
When are you going to be playing at Valley Parade?
Valley Parade, that's all part of the plan. That's the Valley Parade. Odsall. Jesus, yeah, we're going to fall through that time hole that you ripped open by looking at
Top right, there we go.
It's all coming together now.
And then you might be winning things
You've
again.
just got to join the dots, I suspect now. Championship side Oldham have signed Salford talents Matty Wilkinson and Connor Williams. They have signed the Red Devils pair on short-term deals, albeit hooker Wilkinson joins on a deal until the end of the season after being granted an early release from his contract. The 21-year-old had made a handful of appearances for Halifax this season on dual reg, and Oldham claim they have beat their championship rivals to secure his services. Meanwhile, 19-year-old Williams has joined the club on a 1-month loan. This is that lull we were talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hull Kingston Rovers centre Liam Salter has signed a new 1-year contract with the club. The 24-year-old has agreed a new deal that will see him remain at Hull KR in 2018, joining the likes of Andrew Heffernan, Josh Johnson and Robbie Mulhern. Featherstone Rovers have signed forward Daniel Igbinedian on a deal until the end of the season. The 22-year-old joined Castleford Tigers from League One club Oxford last October after beginning his rugby league career at London Broncos' youth system. He did not make a senior appearance for the Tigers and was loaned to Dewsbury Rams, but has now joined their championship rivals Rovers after being released from Castleford, where his path was blocked by more experienced players. Fair play to the guy.
Yeah, there was a speeding offence that apparently was linked to, I read somewhere.
All right.
Loads of bit of tittle-tattle. Right. But I think it's more that he just never forced his way into the side, did he? Yeah. And obviously they don't feel he was close enough to cutting the Super League apart, so let him step down a level and work on his career by playing first team rugby, and I think that's a good move.
Commendable. Scottish international centre and back row Ben Halliwell, remember him, has signed a 2-year contract with the London Broncos. Richard Kendall was kind enough to get in touch with us on this one, Mark. He says, great news about all the guys re-signing contracts for next season. Everyone says they love their teammates. London is the place to be. Yeah. Cheers, Richard. Swinton Lions announced over the weekend that John Roddy has stepped down as both as chairman and director of the club following discussion with the board of directors during the past week. The club's statement on their website placed on record its sincere thanks for Roddy's input over the past 4 years, both in terms of time and finance, during which time the club has been promoted from League One and then established itself in the Championship. Negotiations are currently ongoing with potential new directors, with a view to both stabilising the current financial situation of the Lions and then moving the club forward. Further statements for the club are expected in the near future.
It's sad and worrying that there's clear problems going on at Swinton. They've done a bit of a asking fans to put their hands in their pockets thing. They've launched what they call the 200 Club, where they're asking for 200 people to pledge £50.
Right.
And there's like benefits that come along with that, like discounts on next year's season tickets, invitations to exclusive meetings with the players and the coaching staff and things like that. But whenever that sort of thing comes around, it's sad. I think they've suggested that there's been a bit of a shortfall in what they would have expected in money from away supporters going to their games this year, which is a little bit surprising given they had the Wigan Cup game. So it's disappointing that the cash flow hasn't worked out the way they would have hoped for it. They had a slow start to the season financial wise, I think, with some of the visiting teams being the smaller supported ones, or smaller away supported ones. So that's sad, because Swinton are a really good club with a great set of fans and a long legacy.
Passionate following, aren't they?
So I hope things get sorted out there.
As do I. New Zealand international Sean Kenny Dowell has joined the Newcastle Knights, ending rumours of a move to Super League side the Salford Red Devils. The 29-year-old saw his contract terminated by former club the Sydney Roosters after he was charged for cocaine possession, and with his future up in the air, has joined the Knights on a deal that runs until the end of the 2019 season. So, not a bad bit of business for Newcastle. Decent player, Sean Kenny Dowell.
I'd say so, yeah. Maybe
just keep him off the cocaine.
Well, I was going to say maybe that would be harder to find up in the Hunter region than on the mean streets of Sydney.
Do you reckon?
Where dealers are every corner.
Possibly so. Is that right? Are the mean streets of Sydney? I thought it was quite a good deals.
I would guess
everywhere has a few mean streets, and I thought.
I would guess Sydney's got greater availability, although cocaine's rife everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
I don't know. It's not something I've sought out. particularly.
Not me neither. But you just have
I would have been blown away if it had.
You just have to wander in some of the bars down Henry Street and Lytham to realise that there's plenty of it on the handout. Even
I just think it's got a very specific microclimate around there that makes it quite snowy. That's all I ever put it down to. Right, Darryl Alpert will join Salford Red Devils from League One side Newcastle Thunder for the 2018 season. The 24-year-old utility back who prefers to play at centre has scored 14 tries in 15 games so far this campaign for Newcastle, so good luck to him.
I think he's the lad who scored the high quality try against the Wolfpack in that televised game.
There you are.
Yeah.
So good move for that young man. St Helens scrum half Matty Smith has required a second surgery on the eyelid injury he suffered against Leeds Rhinos on Friday. The 29-year-old left the field after 6 minutes with his eyelid ripped open and underwent immediate surgery. He had a second surgery on Monday, and St Helens coach Justin Holbrook has given no indication of a return. Yeah, it was gruesome, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sounds
like friendly fire and an unfortunate accident. But
sounds like Danny Richardson's going to get a run in this to close out the regular season, like he started the regular season. But I'm a massive, admirer of Matty Smith. Not necessarily that is the greatest player on planet Earth, but he really holds the teams he plays for together quite well. And boy, can he kick a drop goal!
Yeah,
and it's a real big shame.
Yeah,
for the lad, certainly. Because
broadly,
he was starting to he was starting to have an influence on that Saints side, and more to the point, it's a serious looking injury, and let's hope he recovers fully.
Definitely.
And is able to grace a rugby league field next season.
Definitely, absolutely. Huddersfield Giants fullback Jake Mamo won't be gracing a rugby league field for the remainder of this season, Mark. He's had surgery on his foot injury that has put him out for the remainder of the 2017 campaign, which is a real shame from an observer's point of view.
There, don't they, at Huddersfield?
Yeah, he'll be back. Maybe not.
Yeah, it's a tough spot for them to be in. With the player of the season for them is only going to have played a handful of games.
Yeah,
is what it's going to look like. So they'll be hoping they can piece together from what they've got in.
Well, it'll go to Wickham Heathrow, won't it? Now they're player of the season, surely.
Well, I mean more what they're actually going to perform on the field. They're still in risk, aren't they? They're still only a couple of points above the drop zone to the middle eights.
Yeah, it's definitely a big loss. Jamie Acton's disciplinary case has been put back until the 11th of July after his club Leeds Centurions requested more time to prepare for the hearing. The forward, who's 25, has been charged with a grade F offence for other contrary behaviour, which carries a minimum ban of 8 games should he be found guilty. Do you talk about it now? Do you talk about it?
Well, it's probably good. It's probably good for the. We'll talk about it now. It's probably good for the RFL, isn't it? Because they were busy handing out bans.
Yeah, they dished out a few, didn't they?
11 in total, I think, from this round of hearings, and Reece Lynn's keeping him busy for a second day in a row.
There you go
with his appeal. But this totally reprehensible behaviour. We were talking before we kicked off, and I said it's not quite as many steps up the ladder as what Ben Flower did, which was the worst thing I've seen on a professional rugby league pitch, and it's a few steps below that French lad knocking out Remy Cassie's brother too.
Yeah,
but it's up in that region.
Yeah, definitely.
It's on that it's on that rung of the steps.
Definitely.
If you're talking about going up a building, it's on the same. It's between the same landings, sort of thing.
You're really contriving this metaphor.
I don't know what's going on.
No, that's fine.
It was awful. There's no excuse for it. This heat of the moment stuff is a load of tripe because he had to walk over to him to do it. It wasn't like he was involved in the incident when it happened.
Nope.
It was a forceful yet totally legal challenge that was ended up with a bit of a head clash type situation. Yeah. Both players. Not out cold. I don't even remember Drinkwater going off for a concussion assessment, by the way. But
no,
I can't be sure. But Greg Bird definitely did, and he was knocked out. There's no two ways about it. When he picked him up, if anyone's reckoning, he had the wherewithal to tell someone to coherently tell someone to fuck off.
No,
when his head was lolloping back off his neck. No, not a chance.
No, not a cat and house.
Yeah,
not a cat and house. And I think the bigger part of this is the Derek Beaumont clown car bloody performance of sticking up for his player. It's absolutely, utterly reprehensible and entirely without justification the way that Jamie Acton behaved. But certainly as bad in some respects in my mind is the callousness with which Derek Beaumont comes out and just blindly sticks up for his player, irrespective of video footage and irrespective of what we can all see with our own eyes, for some, I don't know to what end. I would have been so happy if someone had come out and said, yeah, he's going to get a ban for that. This is not the sort of behaviour that Leeds Centurions as an organisation condone. And it's a second incident, and I'm turning it into the Derek Beaumont hour rather than the Jamie Acton thing, because as stupid and as unhinged as Jamie Acton is, he's going to cop a ban for this. But this is 2 occasions this season now where the owner of a Super League club